Happy Sunday, everybody. Well, so last week I was up here and I did a nice detailed overview of all the wiring and how I did things and how all the ductwork runs and everything. I uploaded it to my computer and I can't find it. It's like it's vanished completely. I don't know what's going on. Sometimes technology, I love to tinker, but sometimes technology just baffles me. So today what I've been up here doing is just routing it. So I've got all the wires wired. Well, there's only 2 wires. Everything routed up and around with my loom. Just kind of getting it ready so I can put it all back together. I'm missing one piece. I'm going to put a drop hanger off of the, let's focus it on my hand really bad there, but off the back of the radio. So the radio has a hanger that comes off of the dash. There's a stock mounting point back there for the stock radio and the stock speaker. So it drops down, holds the back of the radio up. Well, I'm going to come off the back of the radio and drop down a little bit more and have a little tab that I can mount my ductwork here to. So this line on the bottom down here that's hanging down real low right now is the driver's side vent, that one over there. And this other one right here is the driver's side defrost. So I'm going to do what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that little tab there so I can hang those up and they'll tuck up a little tighter underneath the dash. You'll still see it here a little bit, but it'll go right up there. So I guess to reiterate what I spent what seems like probably too long last week discussing was the wires all come through the firewall. You can see what's kind of the loom right there. I got to mount this relay up here. Then all the wires will mount to it. But this is the main harness. This one here comes up from down there. There's also one that comes up. You can see it right there where my finger's pointing. 2 main wire and harnesses come up. That one powers a fan. This one powers the computer on the unit. This one here actually runs up through my loom here, which is getting kind of messy these days. But I have these little sticky pads, and you can see that one's actually released. I'm going to reattach that one. That run the wires, so you can kind of see down there, they're all attached to the bottom of the dash, kind of sort of stock-ish. But anyway, that wire here goes up, around, pops down, and goes to this unit. The other wires, there is a violet, which you can see here, if I can get my hand out of there, and a tan, which is actually right above it in the same bundle. I left the violet one long because situations like this, if I ever try to get under here and clean up this wiring and kind of move some things around, I want to have extra wire. So I just kind of loop it up. There's another loop back there you can see for an orange wire, and this actually is going to come up and go to my light. There's just loops all on the bottom of this thing. So if I ever take it back apart, it's extra wire. So there's not extra splices. So, but anyway, that violet wire there plugs into, and you can kind of see the connector there, and I'm going to try to do this without it focusing too much on my hand, but there's a connector right inside there, and what that is the wire that used to plug into the side of the factory heater controls. So what I did was I got online, and I'll put some links below, a couple places. I bought these actually on Amazon. I bought them before on eBay and kind of in bulk, but I just needed a couple. So I bought 2 covers and some terminals. So what I was able to do is put a cover on the wire that used to go to here, and put a terminal on the end of the violet wire and plug those 2 together. Now what that does is that's the heater wire. So that wire is switched 12 volts. So obviously I'm going to put a lower amperage fuse in it now because I don't know what it is now, but all it is a signal to this computer that the truck is running. So no splicing, nothing. I just put terminals on existing wires to get that to work. And also for the tan wire, I have right behind here, and you really can't see it, is there's a series of connectors that I have that gave power to the factory light bulb. There was a light bulb in here to the factory controls. All I do is unplug the factory one, and I put some terminals on it, so that wire goes all the way over, across the dash, down, and plugs into where the other one was. And then that also splices off and goes over to the column, because this has a light inside the shift indicator there. So that's what that gray wire is hanging down, because I need to put that wire up, or that hose up, and then tie that wire to it. But that's pretty much it. There's only 2 wires in here that need to be hooked up. The So I just had the wires kind of tucked down, and I have a big black zip tie that's attached to kind of keep the wires from jiggling around too much. So then it runs down, and it's back here. And then, like I said, I'm going to mount this to the firewall. I think I'm probably just going to use Velcro because I don't want to put any more holes in the firewall. I've got some industrial strength Velcro that actually it's holding these on right here. Well, not right there, apparently. Oh, right there. I have a couple pieces back behind here. But anyway, so I'll get that done. The ductwork is kind of like tentacles on a squid here. So you've got this one here. So the way it works is you've got a junction on the front of this unit, which is the smaller ducts. I think they're 2-inch. So you got this one and that one right there that my finger's pointing at. Those are the defrosts, and they come out of the front of the unit. And then on the side of the unit here, let's see if I can get the camera down there. You can see them 1, 2, and 3 up top. Those are, top one is the center vent, middle one is this vent, bottom one is that vent, obviously. So, yeah. So I looked at the way the glove box insert is, because it's got that little shallow little thing that you put in here now. It had a vertical deal here, so I just kind of started fitting them together because the instructions really don't tell you how to run it. They just kind of show them connected. This one goes here, this one goes here. So, like I've mentioned in previous videos, there's not a ton of room. Got a ghost in here. Not a ton of room under here. So what I've done is I've kind of got them up and going every which way. I've got just holding this one up here. I got a zip tie lightly on that one to kind of keep it up there. Same thing over there where it goes over the steering column hump. And yes, that does look messy on camera, but those wires actually are pretty organized. And then I just got them all hooked up. Like I had said on another note, the wiring for my fans and the pressure switch, I am having I don't know what the deal is. So my computer is from an 03 Yukon Denali. But I think all the Yukons are the same. 2003 and up SUVs and trucks, I believe. They went to a system where it used a high pressure switch, and the computer monitored that, and then it used I think the BCM. So the high pressure, or not the high pressure switch, a high pressure sensor. So it measured the pressure sensor. That wired into the ECU like I have it now. And I can plug that in, and I can put shop air on it, and I can see that the pressure is there. I did like in my short video, I did a custom math and HP tuners so that I could read the pressure, and everything worked. Everything checked out, but it wouldn't turn the fans on. So come to find out that in the 03 and up trucks and SUVs, they had a high pressure sensor and a low pressure switch, I believe. I may be off there, but it has a low pressure, it's either a sensor or a switch. Nonetheless, all it is a ground just saying, yep, there's pressure there. And that feeds into, I guess, the negative on the compressor and then into the BCM. And then BCM via serial data over the, it's not really a bus network, but serial data. There's a serial connection between the BCM and the ECM. They talk to each other. Well, some computers, from what I'm gathering, and some people say this and some people say it doesn't work, but some people said they got it to work using that high pressure sensor and the high pressure line. So the line coming off of the pump up to here will turn the fans on and off because the computer has a setting in there for pressure. So say Vintage Air wants your fans to come on at 250 PSI. Well, I can have it set so like at 240 PSI, my fan 1 comes on, which is both of my fans at low speed. And at 250, if the pressure's still rising, it'll trigger fan 2, which will turn them both on full speed. So that'd be a trick if that would actually work, but it doesn't work. So I've been doing some digging, and it seems like some computers do, some computers don't. The vans and the 03s, 04s they'll do like an AC request, like an old school, like how GM used to do it, so that it'll just trigger. It has a high pressure and a low pressure switch, not a sensor, but a switch. So it just senses that there's pressure. And then that'll work, but that's not how this is wired. So I don't know. For right now, I've actually gone back and I put some terminals on my trinary switch and got it wired. I'm going to run the trinary switch for now, just to control the fans. I think what I'm going to do here is, so these are my pigtails that are coming off. I had these in another video. I got fan 1 and fan 2. I think for right now, for testing purposes, I'm just going to put spades on those. I'm going to run this wire from here up to, somewhere that I can access it. And I can switch between fan 1 and fan 2, because chances are, if the pressure's up high enough and it's hot outside, the fans are already going to be running. So I don't know. As I say that out loud, I may go to fan 2, because if the fans are already running, that means that the fan, I don't know. I'm just going to play around with it and see what works best, because I don't know that we necessarily need both fans running full speed every time the pressure comes up. Maybe I do. I don't know. But I'm just going to try to do some experimenting before I hardwire them. So I'm just going to put some spade connectors on there. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud here and kind of explaining to myself kind of what I'm doing. Not the way I wanted to do it. I'm still going to put the pressure sensor in the line here. This is the fitting for it. So it just has a sensor that screws onto that. So I'm going to put that sensor in the line there. I don't know if you guys have these. This is a little Larry. I have a big Larry too, but the little Larry gets hot and the big Larry doesn't. But yeah, so I'm going to put that's in this line right here. So that will loop up and go to the pump right here. This one is the big fat 10 that comes out of there. It's going to go to here. And that's another point of contention here. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to run these lines, because they put 90-degree fittings there, which actually work. And I've also got these 90-degree, I knock over everything here, 90-degree heater hoses. So what I think I'm going to do, and I may have said this in another video, so these are not going to go horizontal like that. Right now they're just resting here, but they're going to kind of go down. What I'm going to do is kind of lay them on the fender and then run. So they'll run like this, and then the smaller the smaller 6 line will go up to here right there, and the big 10 will go touch the fender, just some strain relief, and then up to here. Now this fitting here is a 135-degree fitting, which when you put that on there, it's a natural, nice arc. Where I'm running into problem is I've got this big number 8 that's coming from the dryer here. It's coming from the condenser, or going to the condenser, I should say. It's got to have a fitting here, so I need a straight section, and I need to kind of loop up and come back to here. So what I'm thinking about doing is, they sent me a 135-degree fitting for this. I think I'm going to buy a 90-degree fitting, so that this one goes down, and this one will go over the top of it, loop back around, and go into here. My primary objective is to keep them away from the heat of the headers. So I think I could do that, maybe angle it a little bit, and so I can keep away from that. So it'll go over the top of the number 10 and then loop back around to where it needs to go right here. Heater hoses, I'm going to kind of stagger them offset. So the bottom one, I believe, is from the water pump to the heater core, top one's back. So the bottom one needs to have this valve in it. So I'm going to turn it 90, put the valve, and then kind of wrap them back up and around this way. That's what I'm thinking anyway. So they'll kind of follow the lines that are going to be there. So it's going to be, I'll put a picture up now. I had them laid in here and zip tied every which way, trying to get an idea. And the general consensus was that was going to look the best. I'd love to hide them, but I still got to deal with the heater hoses. I don't know. It was just too much. And then this fitting here was kind of a weird deal. It almost needs to be shortened, or, if I had a 180, which I don't think exists, like an AN fitting, a 180, just kind of do that. But nonetheless, I think we have got it figured out here. This is the last thing I'm going to do. So I'm going to try to button up under the dash and get it going. Excuse me, I got zip tie galore here, temporaries and putting things up. So today's task is to finish this up here. Well, this side's done. I'm going to do that side. I'm going to put the gauges back in. I got to get that bracket put in there. And we're done in here. And then the only thing left is those lines. Crimping some terminals on these two bad boys that go out this way. I've got the wiring harness for the Dakota, which is a piece of cake. So I'm going to have I had some existing holes, and I have these GM deals here. So I have some, once you put the thing on top, you can't see them. There's actually this gray things underneath here, but the wire zip ties to it. I had a hole that was somebody already drilled a hole for me there and back there. You can see it back there. So that wire is going to come out, hit that, come along here. So it's going to kind of mimic what I have going on over here. So it's going to come out, hit it, and then run along there. My relay, or not my relay, my breaker for the integer is going to sit right here, so the wire is going to go whoop, right to the battery. So I have to wire those up, and I've got the blue wire here that goes to the trinary switch, and then I have a blue wire that comes back out and goes to the compressor here. I've got the pressure sensor wire over there, and then the fans, just so I'm going to run one wire in here, and then I'm just going to jump it back and forth. Now, I will say, you have to remember on this fan wire, the ECM periodically tests the circuit. So what that does is it'll pulse 12 volts down the line to see if it's, even though it's a ground trigger, it'll pulse 12 volts down the line to see, it get feedback, see what's going on the other end. So if you're giving it that circuit, like either one of these wires, so these wires run all the way back to the ECM. Well, through the relays and all the way back to the ECM. So if that computer sees that the fans are running via the trinary switch, it's going to throw a code. So what you do to mitigate that is you put a resistor and a diode in line, and what that does is blocks the computer from seeing this switch. So it only sees the relays, because what it's doing is it's looking for the relays to make sure that they're there and they're functioning. If it sees this, not so good. If it sees that, all good. So you put a resistor and a diode in there on the line that goes over here to these. Computer won't see them. So you kind of need to do that. So I've got some resistors. I ended up buying, I think I bought them on eBay. Had to buy like 100 of each, even though it was like $6 for all of it. But I got plenty of them. So we'll go over that and discuss that. Hopefully one night this week. My kids started baseball, and we got scouts and baseball. We got something literally every day of the week, and Sunday's the only day I don't have anything. So that's why I'm here on Sundays. But anyway, I've now been rambling for 17 and a half minutes. Sorry about the video. I did have a good one. It explained a lot, and I don't know where it's at. I searched the computer. I can't figure out where it is. So apologies. We're getting there. I'm so ready to be done with this because it is like 95 degrees outside. I so want to be out driving this thing, but it's the cards we're dealt, man. Being a parent, you don't have a lot of free time, so here we are. So anyway, I'm going to cut this one short because I'm going to try to hammer through this stuff and get all that put back together and get everything back together so I can be done in here and focus on out there and get this bad boy out of here. So happy Sunday. Hope everybody's having a great day. Hope everything is going well. We've had crazy weather this morning. We had 65-mile-an-hour winds, so we had trees down in the whole nine. I feel like every other day it's 60-mile-an-hour winds around here, but, whatever, we're dealing with it. Our houses, everything's built for it. So have a good Sunday. Get out and enjoy. Get out in the shop, do some wrenching, all that fun stuff. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Please ask questions. Please drop comments. Nice one, please. No negatives. I don't need you. But, that's it. Have fun. We'll talk to you guys next time.